people also don't talk about lubing the hubs. Using lube on the hubs. I never hear people talking about that.
Nope.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to sell everything and move into an RV? To uproot your life and hit the open road? That is exactly what we did.
Join Mike, Chelsea, and our dog Shadow as we share our nomadic adventures on the road and travel to places we've only dreamed of.
It's not always easy, but it's always an adventure, and there's always something new to see. Follow us on this journey. Together, we'll discover what the open road has to offer and the possibilities revealed along the way.
Welcome to Cox Camping.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we are headed, where are we headed from, Chelsea, and where are we headed to?
We are going from Texarkana, which is the border of Texas and Arkansas, all the way down to Central Texas or just outside of Austin. So we're heading home for a little bit.
Headed home. Up, dog is up. Lay down, doggy.
She's holding on.
So this vlog, we wanted to talk about kind of the biggest lessons learned after 15 months in full timing? We started it in June of 2023, and we're in November of 2024. So
October,
12. We are? Oh, we're in October. Oh, yeah. We're in October of 2024.
I was like, last time your birthday wasn't in November.
15 months in. Yeah, it's Chelsea's birthday today. 15 months in. Biggest lessons learned. So I'm going to kick it off. This will, because we didn't rehearse anything, so we didn't even really talk about this. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kick it off to kind of get Chelsea's ideas stewing. Mm-hmm. But one of the big things for me was that stupid bedroom closet. So if you haven't seen, our bedroom closet is in the very back of the fifth wheel. And so it's at the furthest pivot point behind the axle. And so like a seesaw, that's the point of the fifth wheel that actually moves the most. So on our very first trip, the entire closet collapsed.
Yep.
Like we had to like jerry rig it after the fact. But yeah, everything was collapsed in there. All the clothes were just, we didn't even know where to start. We couldn't even open the door to get in there.
It took a lot just to open the door. So, and you can go back on our page, you can see that, because we did a video about it. We have pictures posted of it. It was awful. It was.
Yeah.
It was impossible to open the door.
So, but the lesson learned there is whatever is at the very back of the fifth wheel is going to get flipped. Now, I will say, better for it to be a closet than a kitchen, because like our dishes are like right before the axle. Yeah, so it's a very, there's not a whole lot going on. We've never had a broken dish. Mm-mm. Our liquor cabinet, never broke. There's so much,
broke a bottle.
A lot of liquor in there because we don't really drink. So
we still carry it around just in case.
I mean, we had a lot left over from our wedding. But so do you want to? I mean, I've always wanted a rear kitchen because I wanted a front bedroom. So to utilize that cubby space as the bed, and it kind of gives you more space in the rest of the unit, but you don't want a kitchen on the rear. So maybe a rear living would be okay.
Rear living, I think.
Your TV's going to get flung around, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think the kitchen always, it would either need to be the front or it has to be the middle.
The front is good.
This is just too dangerous. Like the closet, the closet is definitely. You see how much it moves. Even now, we have to remove all of the clothes. Like, I bag all of our clothes that are on hangers and take them off, and I lay them onto the bed because, and even then, I'll maybe even leave like one or two things that are light, and that will still fly off, and everything falls to the floor. So, it's awful.
But the lesson learned, it's not just the closet, it's whatever's in the very back.
Anything in the back is going to get messed up.
And remember, we're on limited space right now on the GoPro, apparently. So, Chelsea, why don't you give one?
Something
lesson learned.
So I think for me, and it's probably more me than anything, because I I'm obviously female. I have a lot of clothes. And I tried to be good. But we move with the weather usually. So
What do you mean by you tried to be good?
I tried to not bring a whole lot of clothes. I have a lot of clothes, and I left a lot of it back here in Texas in storage. So I packed up. I have like stuff that could be like everyday stuff and warm stuff. And then I had some winter stuff. So I brought, like, we have a container. I have a container. It's a big one, but it's not super big. That I put like winter type stuff in it, thinking that whenever we ended up where it would finally get cold weather, I would switch the closet out for warmer clothes. I have not once had to do that because like I said, we pretty much move with the weather. So by the time it's already starting to get to that peak cold, we leave. So we're already moving on. So I have not once in our 15 months had to crack open my winter clothes stuff, because I have at least a couple jackets and stuff, and that's all I need. So I think I could get rid of clothes.
So if you had to summarize it, is it you try to narrow it down to the minimum possible, and you end up still having more than you need?
Yes. I have way more clothing than I need.
And it's very minimal, the amount of clothing that we have. I mean, we have a decent amount, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We're very fortunate, but you still end up wearing like basically the same outfits.
Yeah.
Like, you have like your 4 or 5 going out outfits. You obviously wear the same stuff to work.
Yeah. Keep it minimal.
Your house clothes, your workout clothes. So you have the same. It's just like when you have a house. Like, there's stuff that sits in your closet that never gets used.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next one is that don't be afraid to add on additional optional stabilization. And I would say that for full timing. If you're camping, it's not really a big deal, but for full timing, it makes a big difference. So, for example, like where you could probably start as a good place is if you have a fifth wheel, get the fifth wheel tripod stabilizer. We actually did a video on our channel with a side-by-side comparison of moving through the RV with and without the tripod, and you can determine it for yourself on the effectiveness. But trust me, it makes a huge difference, especially if you, like, whatever room is over the hitch, makes a huge difference. I didn't tell you this, but because I took the tripod off a day before we left, like, I could hear the TV like moving a little bit, because the TV sits right over where the tripod would be, the optional tripod for the fifth wheel hitch. But that for the whole unit, it makes a difference. So, like, that's a good place to start. The next place I would say is get the Anderson blocks.
Anderson blocks are great. They might be a little pricey, but so worth it because they're just so stable. And then you're also not running the risk of, like, your jacks having to be so extended, so then you're not having that. You want the least amount of jack out as possible. Yeah. That'll give you more stabilization. Yep.
So Anderson blocks are a good place. And then we also added additional stabilizers in the very, very back of the RV. They're just like inexpensive crank jacks. And that helps a lot in general, but also because the washer is on the very back of the RV, the washer machine.
Yeah.
So that's one of mine. What do you got?
That's good. Yeah, since you didn't tell me we were going to do this, I hadn't thought about it.
Put you on the spot.
You did. Now I got to think of some stuff.
It could have to do with like living full time. It could have to do with pulling. It could have to do with day-to-day stuff like hygiene, or it could have to do with sleeping.
But that's the thing is I can't think of anything right now. You could go. You got something else on your mind?
I mean, I could. You know me. I could go on forever. Well, I was telling Chelsea that, like, because we full time and we usually are parked for at least 3 months at a time. We have a lot of additional like comfort add-ons. Yeah. Like, for example, our water filtration system that we run. It's a lot, and I had to add a water softener to it because the last park we were at was it was so hard. Even with just standard filters, it wasn't enough. All the toilets were getting stained. The shower was getting stained.
Can't get it off
smelled
now.
like iron. Yeah. So we had to get a softener. So that was another thing that I had to add to the already things that we had for that. Yep. And then you have to recharge that. At that park, twice a week I had to recharge it.
Ugh.
because it was so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, I mean, it was so bad that like you could see rust. It wasn't rust; it was mineral stains from the faucets and everything at the park. So it was very bad.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
like at this next park, we've been to already, and they treat their water on site. It's really good water. I'll only use a blue tube. I won't even use our residential filters. I'll use a blue RV tube just in case there's any sediment or anything, and I don't want to send that through our drinking hose. But yeah, just a blue tube, boom.
Yeah.
But all those additional add-ons, and that's like an example. You know, we have like outdoor carpets and
Yeah.
different stuff like
Anything
that.
to limit,
So,
bringing
what?
in dirt.
Did you think of something?
No, I didn't. I mean, you've done good. I mean, we definitely have realized that yes, we've got this RV that we have. It's got a lot of storage, so and we pretty much have every compartment is filled with something. But we've definitely discovered that there's a lot of stuff that we could probably cut down and get rid of because there's really no need for it. Like that we've just been carrying around thinking that maybe we would need it. But no, we I don't know. It's hard. I think what we do have is just, it works for us, but I can't think of anything that's like.
Okay, we're continuing this is a continuation of the lessons learned. Okay, I was going to give it to Chelsea, but she wants me to talk about it.
This is his thing.
It's making sure, generally keeping the moisture level down inside the RV, but that's kind of a gimme. But it's really making sure that you're keeping the moisture levels controlled in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of great ventilation in the bathroom. So it's after you shower, just water sitting in the shower. If there's not good ventilation, it's not going to evaporate. That's how you get mildew. That's how you end up getting mold or water damage or anything like that, just from the air being moist in there. So usually we run a fan in the bathroom, like after we shower, to help that air evaporate. And then we also have a hanging damp rid that, like, as it grabs the moisture out of the air. So you're moving. You need air to move around. And then it takes the moisture out of the air. But really, in the whole unit, you need air moving around to keep the humidity down. So you kind of, even in the wintertime when you don't need to run the AC, you need to run your fans at least you need air circulating through the unit.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to have like your windows and stuff open, then having a good cross breeze is a good way to deal with it as well.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a humid area, then that's probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
So that's
Just
another
have
one.
fans.
That's another one there.
Yep,
little
that's
nugget
true.
for you.
That's a nugget. Have some fans. His favorite he purchased was that shark.
I'm gonna do a
Shark
video
fan?
on it, a video review.
It's a good fan.
But explain the shark fan to our people out there.
It's a very intense fan, and so it can be like a standing fan, and you can plug it in, all that. But it also charges up, so you can make it just like a wireless type of thing. And it comes out of like the actual stand piece and has little legs that you can make it like more like a tabletop if you wanted to. Though it is pretty large, but that thing is powerful. I mean, it is so. When you put it on the max, it's like tornado winds. It's fast.
It is. It has a
But it's pretty cool though. It's nice.
It has a 1 through 5 speed, and then it has like a turbo setting.
It's absurd. I could probably blow dry my hair with the mega setting.
The mega setting's awesome, but that's really good. Like if you need to have we keep it in the living room to push air out of the living room, because the living room's always the hottest place, because it's got like my work stuff, it's got the computers, it's got the TV, and then it's got the people in it, like at night. Mm-hmm. So the living room's usually got the most heat, so it's good to just have like a fan to push that air out of there. But also it's nice because, as she said, it pops out into the portable fan, and you can have like a really powerful battery fan anywhere in the unit. And
nice.
We boondocked a couple nights ago, and the ventilation for our heater isn't connected properly to our bedroom. So it was very cold outside. It was like 40 degrees, and so inside the unit was in the 50s. So I ran the heat pump. But since it doesn't get to the bathroom and we weren't connected to shore power, I wasn't able to circulate air with the actual AC units. So I used that little shark fan to just push air into the bedroom, and I put it on the number 1 setting, and it was in the kitchen on the island, pointed at the bedroom, and it ran the entire night, and it was still running in the morning on battery.
Yeah.
Alone on the level 1 setting, and it was pushing enough air that I had like my belt hanging on the door in the bedroom. I could see the belt moving a little bit in the wind.
Yeah, it's powerful.
So it's a really good. It was expensive. I think it was like $150, $160. And I'm always nervous when I spend that kind of money that I'm going to have buyer's remorse. But in that case, I was very pleased with that fan.
Yeah, it's been good to us.
It was way better than the junkie fan that we used to have.
Because when we boondocked on our way back up north for this contract that we're leaving now.
That would have came in handy, huh?
Well, we had that fan.
No, we didn't have it yet.
Oh, we didn't have it.
We were running the little bathroom fan off of the solar power.
It was hot.
And we had the little battery fan that I have in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Little tiny battery fan.
Because it was during the summer.
It was hot. We could have used that.
So hot. So that fan would have come in handy. Yeah. I thought we had it though for some reason, but
it would have been much better. I would have pointed it right at you.
Oh yeah, because I like it cold and I run hot, especially at night. And so I need the room like 65 or lower.
We left at like what 5:30 that day because we were hot.
We just got up and left. It was hot.
Get in the truck for the air conditioning.
Let's just go. So he was like this boondocks this last time. It was 60 degrees in there. I was loving it. He was freezing, and I was so happy. I slept so good.
It was 60 degrees because I had the heat pump on, not because it was. So this morning it was 58 degrees in the bedroom.
It was awesome.
And it wasn't.
And I was still out of the covers.
Yeah, it wasn't even as cold as it was yesterday. But
it's amazing. I love it.
But yeah, it was 62 because I set that's what I set the heat pump to. If I'm going to run the furnace, I set it to 62, which is plenty because our comforter is really warm, so it doesn't need to be that. We have our winter comforter.
Yeah, we pulled out our winter comforter.
So we have a summer and a winter. So we pulled out our winter one, and it's warm.
It is warm.
It is warm. I don't even have to run my heating pad on the bed.
Him and that heating pad. Yeah, so.
But okay, so that's a big one, is moving air to prevent mildew, mold. The other thing is you will get, if you don't push air, especially with the AC units during the winter, you will end up getting mold in your AC water water trap
like
up
the
top.
Drip trap.
Yeah, the drip trap. You will get mold up there. That's a very common thing. People, they don't know what the smell is. I've been to people's houses. It's the same thing in a home. The drip trap, because there's a little bit of leftover water from when you were running the AC. It just sits up there all winter and it gets moldy, and you go to turn on your AC and it smells kind of musty. That's why, and most people don't know why, and they just deal with it. But for me, I have a very keen sense of smell, so as soon as I smell it, it drives me crazy. So last winter, we made the mistake of not running it, and we had some mold on the drip tray, and I had to take apart the entire AC to get to the drip tray and clean it out. And then Chelsea came home from work and was like, "It smells like bleach in here."
Smells like bleach.
So
fresh bleach. So
that's important. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you learn along the way.
There is.
But I would say, those top things. Is there anything about pulling, hooking up that you think are really big that we kind of had to learn on our own that we didn't learn from doing our homework? You know what people never talk about is torquing the lugs and torquing your the hitch. People never talk about
torque them. And good thing he keeps up with that stuff. I mean, he checked it, and we torque it before every big pull.
The lug
we were
nuts
doing
on the wheels I've never needed. I mean, I've checked the torque on them. They've always been good.
Yeah, our wheels have been good so far.
But the hitch constantly, you constantly have to retorque it. It gets loose.
Yeah, he found one. Again, good thing that we remember to do these things, because one of the bolts on the hitch was definitely loose and it was just spinning on itself. So he had to take apart the hitch so that he could actually grip it and retighten that. So yes,
it was so loose that the bolt was turning and the nut was turning.
Yeah. So always torque and make sure that it's nice and tight. You don't want that thing to come off, snap, nothing more terrifying than that, especially when you are full timing and everything you have is pretty much inside of that.
Yeah,
you don't want to lose it. So, and they just talk about damage and everything. That'd be a lot. So
people don't talk about that. They don't talk about greasing your hitch.
Yeah.
So ours takes, specifically the manufacturer says white lithium grease, which is like a little bit more high end.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about that. So we also use the white lithium on the actual trailer neck as well, since we already have it for the hitch.
That as well.
And then people also don't talk about lubing the hubs. Using lube on the hubs. I never hear people talking about that.
Nope.
In all the groups and everything. So that's another thing that you have to do, and it's in your, if you read the manufacturer's maintenance guide, all that stuff's in there.
Yeah.
But people don't talk about that stuff.
Yep. No, especially if you've been sitting for a long time, and again, we sit for usually about 3 months once we're finally to my next contract or wherever our destination is. So you gotta think like weather and all that stuff eventually will wear off and comes off, and then you go to hook up and pull or whatever, you gotta re-lube all that. It does help, especially with the hitch. So our hitch, we one time we were a little nervous because we went to pop it open and it says that it's unlatched, but the thing is not actually, the teeth are not opening, and so we would always lube up and grease it. So, but now we found that sometimes it will open.
So that was before we started lubing it.
That was before we started, yes.
Yeah,
and we had our hitch get locked.
And I had to look into it, and I was reading like the manufacturer's guide, and it's like, you have to. I was like, I've never freaking had a fifth wheel hitch before.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to lube this thing up.
Yeah, lube up the teeth. And so the claw wouldn't pull open, even though it kept saying that it was unlocked. But then we figured that he had to stand on the side of the truck and pull the thing at the same time, and I just slowly would drive the truck forward. And
we saw that on Reddit.
Yeah, we finally found somebody had the same issue, and they had to hold the lever while someone drove the truck away, and eventually it just slid it out of it. So it was a terrifying thing because we didn't know what was going on, and we couldn't get the truck to unhook.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brand new
and so when it had
OEM, Mopar.
We were only on our second pull.
I mean, it's technically not OEM, but it basically is the closest thing to OEM for Ram. 25K hitch.
Yeah.
25,000 pound hitch. So I was like, this thing should be
shouldn't
immaculate.
Be giving us trouble. So
the trailer's only 14.5 loaded. So
so that was something we did learn, that it might look like your hitch is not unhooking. It might actually be unhooked. You just have to kind of do it slow. So you obviously make sure that everything you have jacks supporting, protecting the thing from rolling just in case. But have somebody stand next to it, hold that lever, and somebody just slowly pull away. It will open if that's the first time for you. It is.
In about 10
it is.
miles,
We sat there, I think it took us like 30 minutes because we were trying to figure out what to do.
Another one kind of a little bit related to that, and people talk about it, so I'm not saying it's totally new, is the tire pressure monitoring system for the trailer. So we didn't have one for the first few trips, and we eventually got one, and I don't know why I didn't buy one. I was just didn't want to deal with it, I guess. But they're so easy to set up, and there's no installation. Just get it. It's you can get a decent one for $100. You could get a functional one for less than that.
Yeah.
But basically, it allows you to monitor your tire pressure on your trailer from the truck. We just upgraded ours because the last one wasn't updating as often as I'd like. And so we upgraded.
Or would disconnect every once in a while.
Yeah, it would disconnect, and it was a little bit. It would have been better if it was a small trailer, but we were just, I think, too big.
I think we're too long. It was too far.
And I needed a repeater, and I didn't want to have to wire a DC repeater, so I just bought a new one instead that had a better range. And I'm really happy with this one. This one's really instant,
nice.
Right?
Yeah, instant.
Because if I take it off, it instantly tells you.
Yeah, if he takes off the sensor, it immediately, the one in here will start beeping. The sensors in here will beep and let us know that we've lost a sensor. And so it's immediate. And then when he put air in the tires, he put the thing back on and it immediately updates. I mean, it takes within just a couple of seconds. So it's quick and it's nice. Really nice. So I don't have to, the last time, our other one, I would have to hold it up behind us just to hope that I could get it close enough to the actual sensors. But helpful. Worth it.
I'm like, come on, lady.
Either wants to speed up or not to speed up. You're going to have to speed up.
She's on the phone.
Love that.
I saw her. She had a really long runway, and so we're going 65 and a 75. This lady had a huge on-ramp runway, and I had to move over because she wasn't up to speed. And now she's like, she was off the road a little bit. So she was on the phone. I saw her when she came over. But anyway, you see a lot of people on their phone, especially being up in a truck.
Oh, yeah. You can see down into people's vehicles.
Yeah, you see down into them and just people on the phone all the time. It's really dangerous.
Yep.
But, yeah, we're really glad to get that. You just, the one that we have, you just charge it the first time, and then the solar, it has a solar panel on it that will charge it indefinitely as long as you have it in the dashboard. That's the console, and then all you have to do is you just put the sensors over top of your stems, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like it's very simple. Like anybody can do it.
Yeah.
There's no wires. There's no installation. Nothing. Just buy it.
Yep.
If you start to lose pressure or a tire blows, you'll know because the thing's gonna let you know.
Yeah.
And it tells you the temp as well.
The temperature, which is nice too.
Speed check reported ahead on I-30
Always
West.
good.
So
Nice to have.
I don't know if that's gonna help if your hub is overheating because I wonder if the thermometer.
Bucky's at 53 miles.
Nice. I wonder if the thermometer is measuring the air, like the temperature of the air in the tire, or the temperature around the tire.
I mean, that's good. That's true. But I feel like
To me, it's less
if the
important.
thing around it is going to get really hot, it's going to make the wheel really hot.
Yeah, I feel like if it's
Heat on the inside of the tire is going to get hot.
If the metal's getting hot enough to get red hot, then it should at least that one should be up above the other ones and hit and you can set. This is nice because you can set thresholds of where like an alarm will go off. So if the tire pressure gets below a certain threshold, the alarm will go off. If it gets above, it will. For the temperature, it's the same thing. If it gets above a certain temperature, the alarm will go off. So that's nice. Yeah. Like if you're not watching it, it'll alert you. So I wish I knew the model name off the top of my head. I don't. But I'm gonna make a video about it. So it might come out before this video. Who knows?
Shorter videos. Easy.
Can you think of anything else? Anything else that are like big lessons learned? We constantly have to tighten all the screws on the crappy screws that it's a constant issue with all of these. The trim on the outside of the.
You're gonna become a carpenter, an electrician. You're gonna learn a lot of things because every time we travel, you're gonna find screws that came from somewhere, or obviously it's usually like the decorative accent pieces. That stuff rattles out and falls off. So you're either gonna need a staple gun, you're gonna need a screwdriver, you're gonna need all kinds of tools because you're gonna end up having to just do mini repairs of your own after pulls. Because now, like the guards that are on our steps on the inside the screws are all rattling out. So that is definitely not comfortable on your feet when you don't realize it's already popped up and you step on the screw that's sticking up out of the step, or you stub your toe on it. So be prepared with the screwdriver, tighten up all the screws because they're all going to come out. That's just
those fender screws. I have the silicone so people actually silicone. Well, it wasn't. I noticed it wasn't the actual fender. It's like the entire piece. There's nothing I can do about it.
Okay.
But anyway, I said silicone. Silicone is computer related.
Yeah. Silicone.
So I have like silicone that I'm going to put around those screws. That's what other people I've seen them do because it's a common issue. So that like the screws around the fenders of the trailer don't come undone. So I just haven't done it. I need to do it, but you're always doing stuff. Constantly having to do stuff. Yep. Hey, can you turn my wheel heater thing off, please? My hands are like frying over here.
You turned it on.
I know, because I was chilly. Now it's the sun is baking me.
You want your booty on too?
No, it's no.
AC.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. Level 1, yeah. Level 1 AC on my butt. Yeah, I'll take it.
AC on your booty.
But yeah. So, but there's a lot. Those are the big ones, I think. There is something that I do with this trailer to help with the minimize like the rocking. So if you're coming up on like a big bump, you really have two options to minimize rocking. You either need to accelerate so that you pull the trailer through the rocking motion from the bump, or you need to basically decelerate using the trailer brake to pull on the truck, and it'll make it rock less. But that's like something that you kind of pick up on. If I was pulling like a lawnmowers, or I mean basically anything that wasn't my home, I wouldn't care. But
it's true, and it's more too because we know what's going to happen to the closet in the bedroom even more. So
In 2 miles,
trying to recover it as fast as
122,
possible is the
State
best, so
Highway
that
11 and State
less
Highway
risk
19.
of damaging more things to the closet. Because again, like I said earlier,
if you
that
get a
flinging
bump,
motion.
it just does this until it evens out. But if you accelerate through, like right as the bump's happening, or you pull on the truck just using the trailer brake, it really minimizes the amount of rocking you get.
Yeah. So trying to do that as quickly versus just letting it do it. Like the truck can handle it, all of it can handle it. It doesn't mess up.
It can physically handle it.
We can all physically. It's just your stuff. So to minimize the rattling of damaging things, the bolt like screws coming loose, try to recover that rocking as fast as possible. Definitely seems to at least hopefully minimize some of the risk. And so, and because also we have our washer dryer is also in the back in the bedroom. So again, just anything to keep that from bouncing around too much either. Because then we don't want that to.
It's shifted a little bit, I can tell, but it hasn't, like, nothing major. Knock on pleather, you know, nothing major has happened with that.
Yep.
But most people say, like it'll shift a little bit, but they've never had any issues.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's a good overall.
I think I had thought of something. I can't remember what it was now.
Did I do it to you? Do you want to pause and go back to it? Let's pause and go back to it, because if you thought of it, I don't want to railroad you. So I just
State Highway 11
I got it.
and State Highway 19.
We'll be back.
About that.
Yeah, people don't. We did think of it. We remembered.
Okay.
So he knows more for it, but just people also don't do it and they don't talk about it really is lubing up the actual slides. So having the type of grease for your slides. And we always try to make sure that we apply it when it's time to go, because we know that